Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hello everyone, we got a video request and this is quite lengthy. So I'm going to abbreviate it for the sake of the viewers. And frankly, we don't need to go over all this. But a young man, his mother is going to be coming into some money, and she's approaching 70. And what is going to face a lot of us younger type people, you know, if you have baby boomer parents, or just anyone who gets older, and assuming Medicare is still around, you have to lower your assets and lower your income in order to qualify for various government benefits, including Medicare. And since healthcare is the largest expense you typically have towards the end of your life, you can see why everyone's getting on. And then there's always the moral argument, I shouldn't be on Medicare, who should be on? No, fuck this bullshit, no. I know you moralist people on the right like to think, well, I'm not going to collect government check because that's parasitism. Please follow Ayn Rand's advice, and that is, you paid into the fucking system. Don't doubly injure yourself while parasites live off of you to deny what you've already paid in. You collect as much fucking government money as possible. So, bear with me as I try to find the key thing. Okay. I have yet to consult an elder law attorney on this matter. You'd be looking at asset protection attorney. But I did some digging and came up with the following. Countable assets refer to those assets that Medicaid will take into account as means of payment for medical care before Medicaid kicks in. Oh, you're Medicaid or Medicare? Oh, you're on Medicaid. Okay, are you sure you got the right one? Oh, we'll just assume. We'll look this up. Excluded assets are those that Medicaid can't touch. Here's a list of excluded assets among others. No more than $2,000 in cash. A house, condo, mobile home, or houseboat worth no more than $500,000 or $800,000 depending on the state and equity. And if you reinvest this money into another domicile once you sell the original. One automobile with no value exclusion. Household goods and personal effects. Funeral and burial funds and spaces, which means contracts for burial plots and other things like headstone, grave markers, mausoleums, urns, etc., etc. Term life insurance policies which have no cash value, which would pay off if you are the beneficiary there. And then the question is, okay, what are these investments? What should I invest in? Now, I can't tell you what to invest in. Right? I do not go down that road. But what I can do is tell you the pros and cons of each of these, or what I would do, because, you know, it's what I would do, and typically it's going to be, you know, the wisest, most conservative move. But you obviously take advantage of all these as much as you can. So no more than $2,000 in cash. All right, so you get the cash down. So you have $2,000 in cash. Your home, depending on the state, yeah, you got to find out what state it's in, and then find out where mom wants to move. All right, and then unfortunately, this money is going to determine your mother and your father's life from here on out, or kind of is going to at least set the tone for it. So that. An automobile with no exclusion value. Well, automobiles depreciate, so unless it's just going to sit there, and you don't want cars to sit there because the gas goes bad, the oil gets shitty, and then you gotta. So I'd eschew that. I'd avoid the automobile. Household goods and personal effects. Well, this is where you could probably have a little bit of leeway because, you know, Sergeant Rumpy Fluffalo, much as I like him, he doesn't really have a lot of value. But you could have some nice furniture. Something that's sellable, something even more liquid, some nice silver things. What do they call them? Utensils, silverware. You know, actual silverware that could be melted down later on or sold. Some collectible items, art. Now, keep in mind the value of these can go up and down. So it's not, you know, you buy silver, you know, silver frame or something that has precious metals in it, and it's considered a personal effect. Well, all of a sudden the price of silver goes down, so it could be just as bad as investing in a car. So you don't know what the price of precious metals are going to be. And then the funeral and burial funds, that, you know, okay, if you want, you can have that. And then term life insurance, if you are designated as the beneficiary, term life insurance might be of benefit there. But the best thing out of all of it, I would say, is that house is property, because property relatively maintains its value. They can use it, living in it, and then naturally that would be handed down to you in the case of their demise. And when you get why can't I think today? The fucking thing. Your inheritance. Thank you. God almighty. So anyway, and then you also mentioned the gifting. Yes, she's going to have to do that. So the gameplay, you're going to have to talk to your mom, and all of us are going to have like you do have to do estate planning. That's what this falls under. You are going to have to talk to your parents, find out how to get the majority of your inheritance from them without the government taking a big hit. But also, as you plan for that, you have to consider, see, what can you do now? See, because estate planning, you should not be doing this when they die. It's too late. And the government's, the die has been cast. You're going to pay these taxes and fees and Lord knows whatever else. So you really ought to be looking at estate planning. At minimum, everyone should have a will. You should have a fucking will. So have that. That's nothing. You can do that online or just draft it up and it's fine. So you should do that, but then as you're 50 years old, start looking at shit. It took you 30 years to build up this amount of wealth. Now you got to figure out how to pass it on to your loved ones without fucking Obama and whatever limp dick governor you got sticking their dick in it and taking it. So consult, I could just give specific advice to this one case, but in general, yes, it is absolutely worth it going and talking to an estate planning attorney. That's who you want to talk to. It is worth a couple $1,000s to talk to these people. It's worth the $100 or $200 you're going to do for the counseling, for that hour up front thing, because they will be able to tell you. I've spent money on lawyers. It's worth it. It is definitely worth it if you get a good one. So do the preliminary work. Do the preventative maintenance. Do not wait until your parents are about to die. This shit has to be done when they're in their 50s, and you might be in your 30s, even your 20s. But if you are one of these people, you're olderish, middle age, start thinking about estate planning. If you're younger and your parents are going to do it, you got to get them in there now. And there are so many other variables. I would have to sit down and interrogate you and then charge thousands of dollars and then dispense legal advice, which I'm not allowed to do. It would not be worth it to contact me to get a specific game plan together. But absolutely, you guys go talk to an estate planning attorney. Find someone who's reputable. I don't say pay more money for the sake of paying more money, like it's going to be a guarantee you get a good estate planning attorney. But look around, do a lot of research before you select one. And then another thing is you're going to have to find the state. That's another thing is where's Ma living? And you should start with an estate planning attorney in the state they're living now, because they would know, like, okay, well, you probably moved to this, and then contact Bob. He's down in Tennessee or wherever your mom might want to go, or wherever it'd be advantageous. That's something you may want to consider. So, please spend the money up front. This is very good preventative maintenance money. Go talk to estate planning attorneys, manage your life, and make sure that all the shit you worked up for in your life is passed on to your kids, as much of it as possible, and not the fucking government and these fucking parasites that voted in the Democrats. Anyway, best of luck to all of you. Toodles.